In this video, I am going to explain about detectors of gas chromatography. Okay, very very important topic. Gas chromatography detectors. Okay, let's see. Detectors can detect differentiation between carrier gas and eluted compound. Okay, gas chromatography detects the differentiation between carrier gas and eluted compound. When pure carrier gases pass through these detectors, it gives zero signals. Okay, when component eluted means whenever mixture of gas and solute molecule which are coming from column. Okay, when component eluted, it is detected means the component will be detected and signal is proportional to the concentration of the component. Whatever the signal showing the gas detector, that is directly proportional to the component which is present in the gaseous mixture. Okay, this is about detectors. Then ideal properties of gas chromatography detectors. What are the ideal properties? First one, it should have high sensitivity. It should have high sensitivity and applicable to wide range of samples. Means it should have many kind of sample we have to apply by using gas chromatography. Okay, we have to detect by using gas chromatography. Then it should have high sensitivity means very small microgram sample also should be detected. That means sensitivity. Okay, and easy to operation means detector should be easy to handle. Then rapidity of response means okay, it should give response very quickly. Then response should not be affected by the temperature and flow rate of carrier gases. Okay, the response which is given by detector should not affected by temperature and flow rate of carrier gas. These are the ideal properties of detectors. Then the detectors which are used in gas chromatography, many detectors are used. Okay, here I have given the list. Let's see one by one. First one, thermal conductivity detector. Shortly, it is known as TCD, thermal conductivity. Here, application I given means universal detector means all kind of samples can be detected by using thermal conductivity. That means universal. Then flame ionization detector, simply FID. Only organics. Organics can be detected by using flame ionization. Then electron capture detector, simply ECD. Mainly halogens. This is important term. Okay, which kind of JC detector can useful for determination of halogens? Means electron capture detector. Then flame photometric detector, flame photometric, which is useful for identification of sulfur and phosphorus. Then alkali flame detector, which is also known as nitrogen phosphorus detector, short form NPD. Okay, it is useful for determination of nitrogen and phosphorus. Nitrogen and phosphorus. That's why here we are going to determine nitrogen and phosphorus, right? That's why it is known as nitrogen phosphorus detector (NPD), also known as alkali flame. Then photoionization detector, which is useful for determination of organics. So among these six, these three are widely used: TCD and FID and electron capture. And here I am going to explain about these three detectors only. Let's see one by one. Okay. Then first one, thermal conductivity detector. Okay. Most important one, thermal conductivity detector. It is also known as hot wire detector and catharometer. Hot wire and catharometer. I will explain why it is known as hot wire. Okay. This is the construction means construction of TCD. You can see here. Okay. Here. These two, okay, you can see these two are the chamber. This is the one chamber, this is one chamber. Okay, and these two, these are the filaments or wires, which is made up of, okay, which is also known as thermistor. Then here by this way, pure carrier gas will flow, and by this way, column effluent, column effluent, nothing but which is having carrier gas and as well as sample. Here, here this side of chamber, this is only pure carrier gas pass. This is known as reference channel because only pure carrier gas pass. In this, here column effluent which consists carrier gas plus sample, which is known as sample chamber or sample channel. And here this is metal black. And then here metal blacks are there, and here these leads are there. Okay, leads means all these four filaments are connected to the Wheatstone bridge circuit. Double piece nothing but Wheatstone bridge circuit. Okay, this is about construction of TCD. Let's see the working principle. Okay, it consists two small chambers of two small chambers which are made by temperature control metal black. Two small chambers. Okay, this is one chamber and this is one chamber. Okay, two small chambers which are made by temperature control metal black. Here these are the metal black which is made by temperature control metal black. Then both the chamber consist matched pair of resistant wires which are known as filaments. Okay, filaments which are known as filaments which are made by platinum or tungsten. You can see both the chambers which consist filaments are thermistor which is made by whom? Tungsten or platinum. Here 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the matching pairs. This is the matching pair. Overall 4 filaments are there. Then these two pairs of matching filaments are connected to Wheatstone bridge circuit. Here leads are there now. Here means all these 4 filaments are connected to the Wheatstone bridge circuit. Then two filaments in opposite arms are surrounded by carrier gas only. Okay, while other two filaments are column effluents. Here I told you now, two filaments are opposite arms. These two are surrounded by only pure carrier gas. That's why it is known as reference channel. I shown in the matter RC means reference channel. Okay, while others these are surrounded by column effluents. That's why which is known as sample channel. SC. Okay, sample channel. Then the filaments are heated electrically. Means these filaments are heated electrically. Okay, it will be heated by electrically. That you keep in mind. Okay, here means heated electrically, na? That's why it is having okay, heat. These wires are heated. It is possessing heat. That's why it is known as hot wire detector. All the filaments having heat, na? That's why it is known as hot wire detector. Then when pure carrier gases pass through both chambers, the filaments get cold, hence bridge become balanced. Okay, here when pure carrier gas pass through all the 4 filaments, okay, the bridge become, here all the filaments will be cool. Okay, all the filaments will be cool, and the Wheatstone bridge become balanced. Why? Here this carrier gas having thermal conductivity. Okay, this carrier gas having thermal conductivity means thermal conductivity is nothing but they have the property of carrying of heat. Okay, they have the property of carrying of heat. Okay, when pure carrier gas pass through all these filaments, okay, this carrier gas will transfer the heat from this. Okay, transfer the heat from this filament to the metal plug. Transfer the heat from this filament to the metal plug because it is carrier gas having high thermal conductivity property. Then once the heat transfer to the metal plug, here then it will be then the filaments will become cool. Okay, then otherwise when when pure carrier gas pass through, both the chamber filaments get cool, hence bridge become balanced. Here all the filaments are become cool now, then bridge become balanced because all the filaments are become equally cool. They have equal temperature if it is happening when pure carrier gas pass through. Okay, then when pure carrier gas pass through one chamber, while the column effluent pass through another chamber, the rate of cooling of sample filaments change. Hence, bridge become unbalanced. This is important thing. This is means you can see here when here one chamber only pure carrier gas pass through, and the another chamber column effluent pass through. Here the rate of cooling of carrier gas will be different. Here the rate of cooling of filaments which is done by carrier gas is different, and here the rate of cooling of and these filaments get different because here carrier gas, suppose here this carrier gas, okay, whatever the okay, here 100% heat then all the heat will be transferred when pure carrier gas pass through, because for example here column effluent pass through, the rate of changing of this cooling effect, okay, this column effluent have somewhat less because the sample possess less thermal conductivity. For suppose it only transferring 60% of heat. Okay, 60% of heat. Here both filaments are cool. Here only somewhat only this become cool because of this chamber column effluent pass through, because sample having less thermal conductivity as compared to the pure carrier gases. So what will happen? This is leads to the bridge become unbalanced. Then Wheatstone bridge become unbalanced. The extent of imbalance is measure of the concentration of solute present in the concentration. Whatever the extent of imbalance is measured, its extent of imbalance of the Wheatstone bridge, that indicates the concentration of the solute present in the carrier gas, directly proportional to the concentration of solute. Then, so what the principle is, the principle of detector is based upon measurement of thermal conductivity difference between carrier gas and solute molecule. Here this principle name itself indicating, okay, thermal conductivity detector means here the principle is based upon the thermal conductivity difference between carrier gases and thermal conductivity here between carrier gas and as well as solute molecule. Based on that, here we are going to identify the solute molecules which are present in the carrier gas. Okay, this is about the TCD. Then advantages. It is universal detector, means it responds to all kinds of organic and as well as inorganic compounds. Easy to maintain. Then this TCD is inexpensive and it is non-destructive detector. The sample will not be destructive by this detector. The only one disadvantage is it has low sensitivity. This is about thermal conductivity detector. Then coming to flame ionization detector. Flame ionization detector. Okay, here the name itself indicating due to the flame ions will form. Based on the ionization, we will detect some compounds present in the carrier gases. That is how you can see. This is about black diagram of flame ionization detector. Okay, here by this way air pass, by this way air oxygen, air by this way air, by this way hydrogen pass, by this way this is the column. Okay, this is the column. Column effluent will pass through this column, and this is platinum jet. And this is the flame, and this is collector anode. This is the one electrode, platinum jet. This is one other electrode. Okay, and this is the flame. Okay, you can see the detector is based on the electrical conductivity of gases. Electrical conductivity of gases means at normal temperature, gases acts as an insulator. Insulator nothing but there is no current will pass because insulator nothing but non-conductive. But become conductive if ions are present. At normal temperature, gas will be non-conductive, means act as an insulator. It will be conductive when if it possesses ions. Okay, that you keep in mind. The carrier gases, that is hydrogen, mixed with the air and reach the top of burner and produces flame. The carrier gas which is used in flame ionization is hydrogen. It will mix with the air and reach the top of this burner and produces flame. Okay, carrier gas produces flame by mixing with air. Then at the end of gas chromatography column, a platinum jet is placed which acts as a cathode. Here this is the GC column. At the end of this column, what we are placing? This is platinum electrode. Okay, this is act as a one electrode. Okay, platinum jet is placed, which is act as a electrode, which is possessing positive charge, and it is known as polarizing electrode. Then silver gas, which acts as a collector anode, which is placed a little above the flame. Here you can see this is the collector anode, which is made up of silver gas, which is placed a little above the flame. Above the flame, here we have to place this collector anode, that is made up of silver glass. Then when pure carrier gases pass through this detector, there is no ionization, hence no current flows. Okay, when pure carrier gas pass through this detector, no ionization will takes place due to thermal conductivity of flame. Then thermal energy of flame. Then no current will be flow. When column effluent pass through, which mix with hydrogen and air, ions are produced due to thermal energy of flame. When column effluent pass through this detector, okay, then by passing it will mix with hydrogen and air. Then what will happen? Here flame having thermal energy. Due to thermal energy of flame, the ions will be formed. Okay, due to thermal energy of flame, okay, ions will be produced in the gaseous mixture. Column effluent nothing but which is having carrier gas and sample na. Then in this mixture, ions will be produced due to the thermal energy of flame. Here due to solid molecule converted into ionic form. Okay, then which causes potential difference existing between two electrodes, which causes flow of current, which is then amplified and recorded as a signal. Here here ions are produced due to thermal energy of flame. Then what will happen? Then it causes potential difference between existing between these two electrodes. Here potential difference, here ions are forming like this. Then all the ions are forming which will move to collector anode. Here it leads to potential difference existing between these two electrodes. Then leads to flow of current. Then what about the current flow? That is directly proportional to the concentration of solute. That is the thing. which current is produced, which is then amplified and recorded as a signal. The amount of current produced is directly proportional to the sample or solute molecule, which is then amplified and recorded as a signal. Then, as the name indicating, flame ionization. Due to the flame, ions are forming. Okay, due to formation of ions. Okay, that means potential difference existing between these two electrodes and current will flow. That amount of current flow that is directly proportional to the concentration. Then advantages, it is extremely sensitive flame ionization detector. Disadvantages is it is destructive detector, means sample will be destroyed, okay, by this flame ionization. Then last one, electron capture detector. You see the title, electron capture. Based on the electron capturing property, here we are going to identify the sample. Here this is the black diagram of electron capture detector. This is the cathode one, and you can see this is the collector anode one. Then here cathode is made up of radioactive surface. Column flame will pass through this. Then you see electron capture detector is also known as radio based detector or beta ray detector. Radio based or beta ray detector. Why? This is cathode here. This detector is made up of radioactive element. Cathode is coated with radioactive element. That's why radio based or beta ray detector. It is sensitive for compounds containing electronegative atom. Very important one. Electron capture detector is sensitive for compounds containing electronegative atom. They have electron capturing property. Electronegative atom. That's why sensitive for electronegative atom. Here it responds to molecules which have tendency to accept or which have affinity for the electrons. That indicating electronegative indicating. Electron capture detector is it is mainly suitable to the which molecules, it responds to the molecule which have the tendency to accept the electron or which have affinity for the electrons. For those molecules only can be detected by using electron capture detector. What are those? Chlorinated compounds. Means chlorine, iodine, bromine, everything, they have halogens, electron activity. Then it consists two electrodes, cathode and anode. Here cathode and anode. Cathode is coated with radioactive surface which emits beta rays and or beta electrons. You see, this is the anode, this is the cathode. Here this cathode is coated with beta means radioactive surfaces, that is beta. Radioactive surfaces. Then what will happen from this radioactive surfaces? Beta particles or beta electrons will be emitted from this. Beta electrons and beta particles will be emitted. Here, when pure carrier gases pass through this detector, this beta particles generates electrons by ionization of carrier gases, means in the bracket nitrogen. In this detector, nitrogen used as a carrier gases. Means when pure carrier gas pass through this detector, means the beta electrons will collide with this solute molecule and make them ionization. Due to the ionization, it will produce electrons. You can see in the reaction. This is the nitrogen gases. When pure carrier gas pass through, what will happen? This beta particles, beta electrons and beta particles will collide with nitrogen gases and make them ionization. Ion form and electrons are produced. Here this is known as secondary electrons. Already beta electrons are primary electrons. This is secondary electrons. Then these secondary electrons migrate towards collector anode under fixed potential and steady baseline current is produced. Whatever the electrons produced here, it will attract and move towards the anode, collector anode. Then steady current will be produced between these two electrodes. Then, but what will happen? But when column effluent pass through this detector, if the column effluent, if solute molecules have the tendency to accept the electrons, the amount of current flows between electrodes will be reduced. Electrodes will be decreased. Means when column effluent pass through this detector, if the column effluent pass through this detector, if the column effluent, the molecule which consists electron affinity, means if the sample which is present in the column effluent, if they have electron affinity, means it will capture some electrons. The molecule will capture some electrons between the collector and anode. Then what will happen? After capturing, the current produced will be suppressed. The current produced will be decreased. Whatever the current, the amount of steady current is decreased. Whatever the current is decreased, that is directly proportional to the concentration of solute. Concentration of solute. By this way, we can detect the sample. That means electron capture detector. Okay. Then advantages. It is particularly sensitive for compounds containing halogen, sulfur, anhydride, nitrides, etc. Means all electronegative should be there, electronegativity. Mainly halogens. Then mainly, okay, particularly sensitive to the compounds containing halogen, sulfur, anhydrides, nitrides, etc. Then second one, it is non-destructive detector. Then third advantages, it is useful for detection of trace environmental pollutants. Useful for the identification of environmental pollutants. Only one disadvantage is that it is insensitive for functional groups like amines, alcohols, hydrocarbons, which is insensitive for groups amines, alcohol, hydrocarbons. This is okay. This is the brief discussion and the in detail concept about the gas chromatography detector. If you like this video, please comment and please like this video and please share it to your friends. Thank you very much.